So I was doing some reading on the Packers earlier this morning and came across some interesting information as I was looking through the Packers Reddit. And one person brought up that Austin Ekeler, former Chargers running back who signed with the Washington Commanders in the past few weeks, was on a podcast called God Bless Football. And he brought up the fact that there are 6 different teams who are interested in signing him, and apparently the Packers were one of them. So we all know the Packers signed Josh Jacobs, bring him in. Aaron Jones leaves, ends up signing with the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers were clearly in the hunt or, on the move, trying to find a running back to come in, bring in to the room. And I wonder what their thought process, their whole plan was behind it, because they wanted Aaron Jones to take a pretty massive pay cut. He, of course, did not want to take that pay cut. Ends up leaving Green Bay. The Packers say, okay, if you don't take that pay cut, we're going to basically take that off the table, release you. They bring in Josh Jacobs. And so I just wonder, what their thought process was. Was Josh Jacobs their prime prospect? It seems that way. I'm guessing if they're willing to make a move like that and Jacobs was willing to come, that he was probably the guy that they most wanted. It's just interesting that the Packers were apparently also interested in Austin Ekeler. And when we look at the Ekeler deal, he got a 2-year, $8.43 million contract at $4.2 million per year. And I just wonder, let's say the chance the Packers ended up signing Austin Ekeler instead of Josh Jacobs, whether, let's say, Josh Jacobs wanted too much money or whether Jacobs didn't want to come to Green Bay. I just wonder what the Packers' plan was with bringing in Austin Ekeler. Of course, teams gauge interest, try to see the cost of certain players coming in, if they would want to, things like that. So who knows how interested the Packers were. They were at least somewhat interested per Austin Ekeler. And with Ekeler being 28 years old, he's a few years older than Josh Jacobs, but he's much cheaper at his age, only $4.21 million per year in the contract that he signed. And so I wonder if the Packers brought in Ekeler, maybe there would be more of a need to draft a running back high. And one thing that's interesting about Ekeler is he said in this podcast that he wanted to be in more of a complementary role. He said, I was looking for someone who had a back that's solid and that's already there. He said that I can come in and also complement and we can really bounce this thing off of each other as far as our production. That's what I felt best and that's what I was looking for. It ended up being with Washington. That's why it kind of played itself out, because that's what I was looking for and that's what they were also looking for out of me as well. It sounds like Ekeler wants to be a more complimentary back. Maybe that's just because of his age and the wear and tear he's gone through as a running back in the NFL. But the Packers, no doubt, really were looking in the running back market. They even looked last year in August, having some interest in Jonathan Taylor. And so the Packers have had their eyes on these free agent running backs. They decide on Jacobs, but interesting that Ekeler was also of interest of the Packers. So that is all for this one. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.